Hi, welcome back to our channel and thanks for watching, subscribing. Well, today we've got a 2018 Ford Transit with a wet cam belt, 2-litre diesel, and well, we've got a bit of an oil leak in this vehicle. I've already had an inspection a couple of weeks ago. Found there's a bit of a leak coming from the front cover, and it's leaking from the sump, and it's leaking from the back of the fuel pump. So we're going to issue all of them. We're going to address all them leaks, but obviously the front cover coming off, some coming off, it screams do the cam belt. So obviously we'll be doing wet cam belt while I'm at it also. So let's crack on. First, I already jacked it up, put the axle stand underneath. I don't need to remove any wheels or anything, but I'm gonna start with removing radiator because it's on the way, and it's done from underneath, but I'm gonna take the little cover off first. Right, that's the cover off. Let's drain the coolant. To undo the intercooler hoses. And I can remove the intercooler. Take this little plastic pipe off. That's the top hose disconnected. We just need to disconnect the lower hose. I might disconnect this turbo hose, get me some bit more room. A bit more room now. Right, that's the lower hose disconnected. Well, that's the radiator out of the way. I've got a lot more room. Connect the fan. Now I can remove the bolts. Not the bolts, belt. Generally, if you're planning to replace the belt, you can just cut it. Take a knife and cut it. From underneath, it's easier. There you go. Oil is dumped, coolant is drained. Now I can take the engine mount off. I mean the tensioner off. Again, I need a tool. I need to remove this power steering pump. Yeah, so it looks like it does leak from the front crank seal. Well, we're ready to remove the front cover. Well, that's all the top bolts out. Don't need that. Dowel can go back in. Now we can see our cam belt, oil pump belt. Next job will be removing the sump. I'm just thinking to remove this cross member or not. I don't know if it's gonna have enough room or not. Just put the sump plug back in. Let's see what parts he's got there. I think I'm gonna have to drop that thing down, so that means I have to support the engine. bit off. Now we need right, all the engine mounts are off. I would prefer to support the engine, otherwise it's all going to go down. Right, that'll do. Looking cobwebs. Oh, there's another nut underneath. There's some bracket there. I've only undone one nut of the bracket. There we go. Now we're going to do all the sump bolts. It does have quite a lot of manky stuff underneath. Bits of belt. Yeah, that's not going back in the sump. Let's get this little cover off. He's got some bits of belt inside, but it's not too bad. I've seen a lot worse ones. Can't see from this side. So most of the big ones come out. In a minute we'll wash it and blow it with a puff blow gun. It's not a problem. Right, that's it. No, that's the oil pump belt is off. Alright, let's time up this engine. Okay. Right, well the timing is done up, and this crankshaft, idler pulley, wherever it is, I don't know, intermittent pulley, that's the one that's got the timing mark on it. But you have to turn on many revolutions before it'll line up with its mark. It takes too long, and then I found that it's, as long as them two line up, you just put the timing mark and it will line up on every second revolution, that mark. Where that one, I can't remember how many, but I think it's like around 12 revolutions or something along those lines. You have to keep turning until it lines up eventually. You can see a little indentation in the block there, and it's got a lines up with a little hole, which is on the bottom at the moment there, exactly 180 degrees out. So you'll have to go another however many revolutions before it will line up. But that's that I only really need to use that mark if the cam bell is actually physically snapped, and I have to start timing from scratch, because we don't touch the timing. There's no bolts to undo here or anything, because this sprocket's actually welded or pressed onto the camshaft, so you can't remove them. They're not removable. If you need to ever replace it, you're gonna have to replace the whole rocker cover with the camshaft, all one piece. You can't remove camshaft separate. It's all one piece, one big lump. Right, but to do that you have to take the injectors out as well. Good luck with that. Right, well, we've timed up the engine now. I can remove the cam belt. Now I need to remove the fuel pump, because we need to replace the fuel pump gasket, because that's leaking. But to do that I have to undo this bolt. Right, I might have to take this engine mount off. that off. Right, let's undo these bolts. Now that's out of the way. You can see this bracket now. Yes, it's come out. Right, now that's that out. Actually, I can get to the fuel pipes. This one. Oh, that's the bracket off. A bracket that protects the fuel pipes. There's the top bolt. There's the lower bolt for the fuel pump. Now I just need to do the higher pressure the fuel pipe. Oh, that's one bolt. Fuel pump bolt. Okay. Let's return the timing back. Right, timing is back. Oh, there you are. Oh, that's the fuel pump out. Now we need to clean it, change this O-ring. There you go. That fuel pump was proper dirty. Well, let's pop the fuel pump back on. Right. That's the fuel pump bolts in. Ugh. Right. Well, there's the fuel pump pipes are on. I haven't done that bolt yet, but I think I'll put that bracket in first. Okay. Alternator can go back on. Alright, that's the alternator back on. Goodness for that. Oh, that's the engine mount back on. Well, we fixed one leak. Let's return the timing back now. That's it. Let's clean the surfaces and do up the timing belt itself. Right, engine looks a lot cleaner now. Timing tensioner is back on. Fuel pump bolts done up, all cleaned up. Now we can put the belt back on. They're not the easiest to put on. There you go. Right, that's it. Now pull the pin out. Pull this one out. Pull this one out. Let's turn the engine 2 revolutions. Not too far. That's exactly where I left it before. So that all lines up nicely. It's a bit tight, but there you go. I've got a brand new pin. That's a bit too not worn out enough. Right, that's it. The timing is done. Let's get the oil pump belt on. Right. That's the oil pump on. Oil pump belt. Let's get this cover back in. That's it. Now they're all out. All the lumps of belts are out. Nice and clean. Timing cover side is done. Let's pop the front cover on. Okay. Okay, let's put the sump on now. Right. Well, that's the sump back on. Right, what I'll do is an oil filter change, and then I can put this subframe back on then. Can't get to it, so I'll use this. We've done with this tray now. Okay, the sump is on. I will put the under tray on, I mean the subframe, but I want to put the front cover on so at least this can start drying itself, because silicone does need its time to set. So I'd rather put the front cover on first, and then I'll be able to do the other bits afterwards. Now I need some sort of it needs to go in a bit more. Oh, that's the front seal in. There we go. Wash it off. Okay. And we out. That's the tensioner back on. Let's put the front crank pulley, power steering pump on. I've cleaned the pulley up now. Crank pulley is on. Next, steering pump, both steering pump bolts. This one. Right, let's put the steering pump on. Right, let's put that back on. I'm not gonna put that back in yet because I found like when you top up the coolant, if you leave that off, it fills up so much quicker. Pop the belt on next. Right, the belt is on. Let's pop the other belt on as well. And that's it. Right, so all the belts are on. We can start doing up the hoses. Two down. Right, next thing I'll be putting the subframe back on. This one side. It doesn't want to. That's getting in. That's going in. That can go out of my way. Right, let's get this done. Is that done? One side in. That's one. Right. Well, that's the front subframe back on. Right. I could put the fan on next. Oh, come on. Where's that little bolt? Right. Okay. Can put the radiator on next. Coolant leaking everywhere. Even after it's been draining for an hour. Right, okay. That hose is on. sure the radiator is gone in properly. Seems to be like it has, and that's good. So I can do that now. Right, that's the intercooler on. Intercooler hoses. That's coolant hose done up as well. Let's pop this intercooler hose in. Right, that's all the turbo hoses done up. Now we can put the airbox back on. Right, okay. So all the hoses are on now. Now we just need to put this pipe. Okay. The pipe is on. The only one is not on is that one. It's loosely on. Right, what else have we got there? Well, that's all the engine compartment wise. It's all back together. Just need to put this little under tray back on. So that's that cover underneath done. Now we just need to top up with coolant and oil and drop it down, and hopefully it starts. Right, okay, we've waited for a bit longer now, so silicone is nice and dry. If you touch all the corners, like where the silicone's sticking out a bit, it's all nice and squidgy, so it's hard, it's not smeary. Yeah, you see, I mean not hard, but like a squidgy. So, but it's hard enough. So, engine started. Obviously, we had to crank it, prime it, because fuel pump was empty. Ooh, excuse me. And yeah, so it's running sweet. I'll leave it running for about half an hour, maybe an hour. Let it warm up properly. It's settling down. You can see air bubbles still coming out a bit at the time. And yeah, and then we'll have a make sure there's no leak still anymore, because we had leak, I said, from the sump, from the front cover, and the most hard one is from behind the fuel pump, that little O-ring. We replaced all of it, and then and that's it. Now we shouldn't have any more fuel leaks, or rather oil leaks. And then as a bonus side, we replaced the cam belt and the oil pump belt, so it's all nice, fresh oil in it, correct oil as well. Make sure these fans, whether you've got a Ford EcoBoost engine or Peugeot with a wet cam belt, absolutely make sure to use correct oil. It has to be correct oil, otherwise the belt deteriorates very quickly. And it has to be done on the correct service intervals. If you don't do the service on them, that's when you're asking for troubles with the wet cam belt. If you look after the car, it will last. Okay, and yeah, well, thanks for watching. Now you've seen how to repair all the oil seals, oil leaks, and also remove installed fuel pump as a bonus. All right, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.